about 14 years for both of us, really, and it's just so exciting. We're more excited today than the day we started. So, brother, rock our world.
Okay, while I'm bringing this on real quick, Laura, do you want to just introduce yourself? And
Sure. Are we going to record this? I just see someone asking.
I just hit the record button.
Oh, yay. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I am just so excited to be here. The way I presented to everybody is, anyone can make anything complicated. It takes a real genius to really make something simple. And I always say that, Dave MacArthur, from a mechanic's brain, took what you're about to see in this presentation, whether you're watching it live or on replay. He really took the nuts and bolts of the products and the opportunity and created something so spectacular and so simple. So I really just appreciate everything that you've done to date. I'm excited to be here.
All right. I'm excited for you to chime in too. And so you guys just interrupt whenever you feel like it. And I'll keep checking in with you throughout the presentation. And somebody's annotating for us. Okay, there we go. Yeah, watch your cursor, you guys, because it marks up the screen for all of us. So, all right, yeah, let's do it. My purpose and a lot of our purpose, that Laura, Lenny, I think we can all say this together in unison, that we really feel like we're facilitating a great amount of hope into people with this message that we have, which can lead into faith. If this message is powerful enough and moving enough, it'll cause you to take some action. And that's really what we're hoping for, because those actions will produce the results. And with the environment that we have and the technology and the ability, the wherewithal to truly take a person's life to the next level, and then to the next level, and then to the next level, we can literally dream up the highest, grandest version that we can for ourselves. And we'll hit it. With this vehicle, Isagenix, and what we have to offer in culture, community, support, product, and opportunity, there's no limits anymore. We get to set our own bar for ourselves. And that's why we're more excited now than we've ever been, because we keep setting a new bar for ourselves and we keep hitting it. And I've experienced this personally, and that's why I can share it with such confidence, knowing that where I was a place of destitute. I called it survival mode. I was literally praying for God to take my life or help me find a solution while I'm out trying to create the solutions that were not working. And Isagenix showed up in my life as I was praying this prayer of great faith. And Isagenix showed up as the solution. And now I'm living a fairy tale dream come true life. And it's been over 13 years now. And I've been helping other people do the same. And that's where I'm at now in life, is helping other people to reach the highest, grandest version that they can set for themselves. And then we'll reach that, and then we'll say, what's next? What's next? So it's really exciting. I call it bringing heaven to earth, because it really is about our health. Our health is our number one asset. And Lenny is absolutely right. If you've been invited here tonight, and I know there's a lot of new people, I got a lot of messages today saying there's going to be a lot of new people on, and you're going to learn something about the human anatomy and how we can support this human anatomy. That is a quantum leap. We're pioneering the information and the things that we're accomplishing. Now, when my health was down here at this bottom step, life was not fun. It was survival mode. And I just felt like dying was my only way out, because I had tried everything. I felt like I exhausted everything. But, obviously I didn't, because now my health is all the way up here. My health is better than I could have ever have dreamed or hoped it could have been back 13 years ago when I was, really suffering. And I want that for other people. I want to bring heaven, a slice of heaven, into people's lives through their health, the way they feel when they wake up every day. They're happy, they're energetic, they're enthusiastic just because of the way they feel. And yes, it's possible. It's totally possible. And that's what we're excited about. So thank you for listening to the person that got you here tonight. We just ask that you get back with the person that got you here, and they'll help you get started and begin this journey that has no finish line, you guys. All right. So before I jump into the science, I just want to give a little sneak preview here of our good friend, Jimmy Smith. And I was just with Jimmy Smith a couple weeks ago. And Jimmy's 80 right here. And he turned 90 right here. I think he's probably around 91 now, because it was the beginning of last year that he turned 90. So here he is 10 years older, but he looks more than 10 years younger. There's a science behind this. Anything that's living wants to thrive. And here's what we're going to teach tonight. And what science and Nobel Prize winning research has revealed for us is that it has an innate ability to thrive. We just got to support that mechanism within the body. And we found it. And we're going to share that with you tonight. Now, before I get started, I'm just going to put the disclaimer up here. We are a nutritional company. We're going to support the body nutritionally and then let the body do what it innately has the capacity to do. And that's pretty miraculous what the body can do, especially when we have a quantum leap change in the way that we start supporting our bodies. It's the breakthrough into a whole new era, says Dr. Gabriel Cousens, MD, for over 40 years after getting on this product. So, but as the body's healing itself and it's doing its thing, we can't make any claims around curing any illnesses or diseases. So we will not do that. We will honor the FDA and those regulations. Now, let's jump into this. All right, so let's go to biology class here for a minute, and you're going to learn some things here that, again, if this is the first time you've been introduced to telomeres on any level, then you're going to walk away having learned something about your body and every single one of your cells. Every cell, which is over 100 trillion that make up the human anatomy, 100 trillion cells, all of them have their own nucleus, and they contain their own chromosomes. So each cell is ran independently, but they also work together in unison. And the chromosomes sit in the middle of the nucleus, and that's the brains of each cell. It's called our DNA. The DNA is housed in the chromosome, and you can see these little steps here. That's your DNA inside the chromosome. And the telomere is this being depicted in red on the ends. It's like the protective cap on the ends of the chromosomes that are protecting the DNA. And so I made this little rope and got some red electrical tape and ran down to the hardware store, bought some red electrical tape and a rope. And I want to show you what's happening to our telomeres. They're not being supported. That innate ability that our body has to thrive is being compromised. And it's being compromised via the telomere. And there's a domino effect. As this telomere is being compromised and it starts to degenerate, it's causing a domino effect. See where the fraying is happening with the rope? I learned this from Bill Andrews. He said, think of the plastic tip on a shoestring and how it holds the shoestring together. Well, when the plastic tip falls off of the shoestring, the telomere the DNA starts to fray. So these little nucleic bonds right here, they separate. That's not a good thing. If you think of every one of these steps in this ladder as a bit of information, and when the telomere degenerates, these nucleic bonds in the DNA where the colors come together, they separate. And so there's, in a sense or essence, this fraying that's happening. As they separate, you're losing bits of information. So the further that telomere unravels and degenerates down the line, the more bits of information you're losing in that cell. And so the cell cannot run as optimally. Well, they've linked every symptom of aging and every degenerative disease to that telomere and it degenerating. So the shorter the telomere gets, the more problems you have with aging and disease. In fact, it's Nobel Prize winning research that the shorter the telomere gets, the more your body's going to develop these degenerative diseases. All of them. Parkinson's, lupus, ALS, thyroid disease, diabetes, skin issues, osteoporosis, Alzheimer's and dementia, loss of vision, loss of hearing, skin issues, muscle atrophy, cardiovascular disease, kidney disease, all of them. Every single degenerative issue, even fingernails and toenails that, split and break and are very brittle. Every skin issue you can think of, it's a telomere issue. That's what was awarded the Nobel Prize in 2009. So the shorter the telomere gets, it's kind of like your lifeline. When it reaches a certain length, the cell will shut down, meaning that organ will shut down and you'll die of a degenerative disease. Well, guess what? That's happening faster than it ever has. We're having babies that are being born with degenerative diseases right out of the womb because the telomere is shortening. It's being attacked while you're in the womb. This is crazy, you guys. And this is scientific fact. This is all factual that I'm sharing with you. You've already lost DNA before you're even born. Babies are born with type 2 diabetes. Pre-teenagers are getting osteoporosis. It's a telomere issue. And Bill Andrews, the geneticist who I was mentored by and who's being featured in popular science, he's the first human being to identify that innate ability for the telomere to repair itself. He said there's a gene in there. It produces an enzyme called telomerase. Bill was the first one to identify it on a molecular level. And he did that in 1994. By 1997, he had invented the equipment and learned how to activate that gene so it's no longer being suppressed and compromised. What happened to the human skin cells in the Petri dish when he did that? They repaired. All of the damage that was done to the DNA was repaired. That was the first time they learned that a human cell could do that. that it could unsuppress the telomerase and it could repair. Now, we watch that happen with a lot of things pretty much on a regular basis. As a mechanic, I cut my hands quite a bit, but the skin always healed up. There was never a time that my wounds didn't heal up. I've broken a bone or two here and there over my lifetime, and that bone has healed up. It was the innate capacity of those cells to communicate and fix the problem. Bill was able to prove in human skin cells that they could repair on a telomere level. He got Inventor of the Year runner-up for doing that in 1997. And when I was introduced to Bill Andrews, I heard for the first time the word telomere. I didn't even know I had them. How about you? Had you ever heard of a telomere before, let alone, knowing what role they played with your health? You guys, every issue that anybody's dealing with when it comes to degenerative issues and symptoms of aging is a telomere issue. In every cell, you have telomeres. They're all going to be shortening at different rates, even from person to person. Two people living in the same home, there are so many different dynamics that could cause a person's telomeres to become shorter that they would never be the same between two people. There might be some things that would be common and kind of be the same, but when it comes to the entire body, there's too many variables. Where the chemicals land, the types of foods we're eating, the stress that we're exposed to. But they do have something that they've learned that's called accelerated telomere shortening. We're actually shortening the telomere faster than we ever have. So not only is the body not repairing on this telomere level, we're shortening it faster than we ever have. Pre-teenagers, this was on the front page of USA Today, April 2012. Pre-teenagers, their telomeres are 10 years shorter than they used to be, just in recent decades. How are we speeding it up? Doritos, flaming hot Cheetos, Mountain Dew, alcohol, smoking, and stress. But trans fats are in processed foods, and people are eating almost all processed food. And we're dramatically not getting the nutrition that we need. But the accelerated part is that we're putting chemicals in the body that are shortening the telomere faster. So what does that mean? Shorter lifespan, because it's going to get you to senescence faster. Meaning your cells are going to shut down and you're going to die of a degenerative disease earlier. You're going to have an aneurysm. You're going to have a stroke. You're going to have dementia. You're going to have cancer. All of these things are going to happen at younger and younger ages, and they are. And it's taking people out, and it's unnecessary. And it's a telomere issue. So Bill Andrews was the first person to be able to prove that it could repair that way. Now, he did that in a very controlled environment. It was in his lab with human skin cells in a petri dish. And that's why he's being spotlighted here in Popular Science. It's about a 14-page article just on Bill and his research. And then what happened is Harvard picked up off of Bill's research, and they did it in mice. And shortly after that, it was awarded the Nobel Prize because of what they learned through the mice. But before I show that video, let me just share this video. This is me and Bill, and that's about 7 years ago. So like Jimmy Smith, 7 years later, I look younger. I can't wait for another 30 years to go by. I think I'm going to look younger than I do today. So this is going to be a great video to be able to share 30 years from now. So I just asked Bill to do a little video with me as I took this out into the public and took it to medical professionals, and it really helped.
Perfect. I'm Bill Andrews.
And I wanted to introduce this video to you. I've collaborated with Bill Andrews and been lecturing around the country about his research in Product B. And Bill Andrews actually discovered the human telomerase gene back in 1994. He was featured in Popular Science as the man who would stop time. So, Bill, what would you like to say?
Well, I've listened to Dave speak many times on Product B, and I endorse everything he has to say. So I invite you to come listen to Dave MacArthur speak about Product B.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. That was really cool. It really did help a lot because there's one of the world's leading researchers in this endorsing, because I learned from him. I was mentored by him, and we've lectured together, and he really likes the presentation that I put together based on his research. So before I jump forward on that, I just want to check in with both of you, Lenny and Laura. You know, being introduced to telomeres and realizing the role that they play in our lives and getting this, very simple explanation of something so dramatic in our lives. How'd you guys feel about that?
I'll jump in. I think it's just, once you learn the science, I just love to share with people, it is the simplest way, once you understand this, to look and feel better. If you want to look and feel better with every single decade, who knew that this was behind it, an inside-out approach? But once you understand the science, without having to be the scientist, this just makes so much sense.
Yeah, and I know that you, and along with a lot of other people, have been doing it, but you had like your own little telomere making, party where you put together telomeres, little ropes that you can carry around with you to start sharing with people this valuable information that they don't even know about.
It's so fun. I mean, seriously, just to see that this is your DNA and this makes so much sense at a cellular level. I always say you're made up of trillions of cells. Do you want to function better? Do you want to feel better? Start at that level. Most people, look for a quick fix from the outside in sometimes, and this fix is from the inside out. I always say your body is the best science. Put it to the test.
Exactly. And here's a little telomere rope that I made. It's a little tiny one, and then I have a bigger one, right? So just a quick, another little FYI for you guys. I don't smoke, but if you compared my telomeres to that of a smoker in the lung area, all of this area right here, who's going to have the shorter telomeres? Well, they know that smoking shortens your telomeres faster, the chemicals that are in cigarettes. And can you guys hear me all right? I know it said my internet cut out for a second there. So did you hear me ask, whose telomeres are going to be shorter? Okay, so I don't smoke, but if you compared my telomeres to that of a smoker in this area, the lung area and the throat area, who's going to have the shorter telomeres? And the answer is the person who smokes, because they're putting chemicals in their body every single day that have been proven to shorten telomeres faster. Now, what are they going to develop that I wouldn't with long telomeres? And this is not Russian roulette. This is not chance. This is all science and factual. I absolutely won't develop it because my telomeres are long. But with my telomeres being short, because of accelerated telomere shortening in this area, I would develop like lung cancer, COPD, emphysema, because that's what's related to shorter telomeres. That's the Nobel Prize winning research, you guys. This is so important. And it's not just smoking. It's a lot of things that are out there that we're exposed to every day. So we're going to get into later down the road how we can support our telomeres with an asset, which is so important. But Lenny, you want to chime in here before I go to the next slides? You're on. Let's see. I can't hear you. You're unmuted.
Oh no, it says he's muted.
Okay, sorry. I'm so sorry. I accidentally unmuted myself. But I want to say just two things. I'm so excited about this. Number one, out of the 2,500 products that John Anderson, the master formulator, has produced in his lifetime, he says that this is his most important, what we're about to learn about is the most important thing. You guys really pay attention here. And the answer to this exact thing that Dave's about to give us is so critical. And Dr. Bill Andrews also said that when you put this particular formula in your body, it cannot not work. I mean, how exciting is this that you guys are now privy to this information that no one knows about? I mean, most people, Dave, don't even know what a telomere. How many people out of 1,000 people would even know what a telomere even is?
1,000. They wouldn't know. 1,000 wouldn't know. And especially if we start talking about telomerase, which is the supporting mechanism within the chromosome. So yeah, I love this. And we're going to get into this right here, which John Anderson says is the greatest discovery of our time. But right now, we're talking about this science, you guys. And so I want to show this clip here. Harvard and a Dr. Ronald DeFino, he piggybacked off of Bill's research. So here's some more scientific evidence of what we've found around it. And this is why it was given the Nobel Prize. Check this out. If you haven't seen this, this will blow your mind.
And now, eternal youth. Is it in a cage around the corner? News tonight of a breakthrough for some pioneering mice. But we always wonder, what does a fountain of youth for rodents reveal for humans? Here's Sharon Alfonsi reporting.
I feel tremendous.
In the Moody Cocoon, it's a swimming pool that turns back the clock for a group of senior citizens. But now researchers have found a way not just to stop, but reverse the aging process. The key is something called a telomere. We all have them. They're the tips or caps of your chromosome, seen here in yellow. This is what it looks like in a young adult. But as you grow older, the telomeres become damaged and frayed, and as they stop working, we start aging, experiencing things like hearing and memory loss. Scientists took mice who were prematurely aged, added an enzyme, and essentially turned their telomeres back on. You can see it before the enzyme, after.
Their brain function improved, their fertility was restored. It was a a remarkable reversal of the aging process.
Look at this picture. The mouse on the right has bad skin, gray hair, and is balding. But the one on the left had its telomeres flipped back on.
And you could see that essentially you now have a dark coat color, that the hair is restored, that the coat has a nice healthy sheen to it.
Even more dramatic, the change in brain size. This is before. The mice had 75% of a normal brain, like a patient with severe Alzheimer's. But after the telomeres were reactivated, the brain returns to normal size.
Okay, so this is where, they went from a petri dish to living mammals, and this is why it was awarded the Nobel Prize, because of what they discovered. When they activated this gene to produce this enzyme, they saw the damaged DNA start to repair. And it repaired fully in all of its cells, which means that everything started functioning at a higher level. So where there was symptoms and things that they were having challenges with, like their glucose levels, their memory and their reasoning ability, their bones and their organs, their skin and their hair, everything was restored, you guys. So this is their brain before, after. Right here, they had lost 25% of their brain cognitive ability. They were failing the test miserably. In that ABC News clip, they said it was like severe Alzheimer's. And then they activated this gene, the DNA repaired in this brain cells, and look at the brain. It actually grew in size. The atrophy was restored. And same thing happened with their muscles and their bones, you guys. And so did their cognitive ability. Their cognitive ability came back. Their glucose levels leveled out, their cardiovascular system, they started bounding around like they were young mice again. And like Dr. DeFino said, this happened in every cell, and it was a remarkable observation of the reversal of the aging process. So again, Nobel Prize worthy, right? It showed what was possible now within a mammal. It was the first time that they learned, scientifically, factually, that this could happen in a mammal, not just a petri dish. This was a game changer. Now, Bill Andrews and up to 40 researchers working in his lab at one time, doing nothing but this. They invented the equipment. They're watching this happen in the human skin cells, and they're monitoring it, and they're testing these different compounds to see which ones can we give to humans so that we could start to activate and support the body on this level. They found 8 things out of 304,000 in over a decade. Remember, they started working with the skin cells in 1994. So 2009, $30 million in testing and over 304,000 tests. They found 8 things, but they were all chemicals that couldn't be consumed by humans. You know how they have testing and FDA regulation, and if something causes too severe side effects, it would never be approved. That was the case with these particular compounds. So these red lines, what you're looking at here is Bill's assay graph. And I added these little things, the pictures and the microscope and stuff. But this assay here, the red lines means, hey, that's a compound that's activated telomerase in the human skin cells, and it's growing the telomere and repairing the DNA back. That's what he got Inventor of the Year for, and runner-up. And so they found 8 of them, but none of those could be consumed by humans. They did repair the DNA and activate telomerase, but none of them could be used. So by 2009, they had done a lot of testing and still to no avail for us. Now, this is where we switch now from all that science and research, everything that I've shared with you and what the Nobel Prize was awarded around. You now know more than, like Lenny was saying, 99.999% of everybody, doctors included. I've done lectures at pharmacy symposiums, at dentist symposiums, doctors, and they don't remember what a telomere is. And some of them, they're like, what's that? So you really do know a lot more. Now, what we're going to do is shift from that science and research, and we're going to go into this collaboration between nutritional formulator John Anderson and Bill Andrews. Now, Bill Andrews and his research team, they did try nutrition. They tried botanicals. They just couldn't get anything to work. Nothing turned red. Nothing was impacting the telomerase. And so Peter Greenlaw got John Anderson and Bill Andrews to come together. These two great minds. John Anderson's been formulating for over 40 years, for over 600 companies. Like Lenny said, over 2,500 different health products. And when he was introduced to Bill Andrews, he got excited. He said, I would have formulated for telomeres a long time ago had I known all this about them. I had heard of telomeres, but I didn't know the role they played. Now that I know, I believe this is the reason why I was born. And I'm building a brand new lab in my backyard. It's going to be about 32,000 square feet, and it's cost me about $4 million. Why in my backyard? Because I'm excited, and I want to do this thing, and I want to spend a lot of hours in there. And so John felt very optimistic, and he really appreciated the fact that he was introduced to Bill Andrews because he didn't know about telomeres and telomerase, not on the level Bill does. And then Bill didn't understand natural botanicals like John Anderson. So just like Bill and his lab can do things that no other lab in the world can do with telomeres and telomerase and monitoring it, John Anderson can do things with nutrition that he's figured out how to do that nobody else can do. And they called John Anderson a genius because of what he did do. Before I jump into that, you guys want to add anything on John Anderson? I know we could talk all night about John Anderson and Bill, but anything you want to add real quick?
I mean, I personally have met John Anderson and had dinner with him a bunch of years ago, and he just, fist bumped at me, like, "Are you in the life-changing business?" And I was like, "Absolutely." So he's just a man that's so true to his heart of truly wanting to leave a dent on this world. And with this product, with all his products, with the perfect blend of what we'll be showing tonight, I just feel like he nailed it. It's just, we're so thankful that his mind worked the way it does to create this for humankind.
Yeah, on his birthday on Facebook, I always say, "I am so grateful for this day that you were born, John Anderson, because you changed my life, and now I get to change other people's lives." Yeah. Lenny?
Just that, he has a heart of gold. I love that man so much. And he loves people, and he feels like his divine purpose in this life is to help with human health. And put the minerals and the things that we require in our bodies to operate at our optimum. And he has dedicated his entire life to this venture. Yeah. I just say, God bless John Anderson.
Yeah. And he partnered up with Jim and Kathy Coover to start Isogenics. And that dream team right there, we are changing the world with this. And I'm so excited to be a part of it and feel very blessed. So John Anderson started formulating, and he started sending these formulations over to Bill's lab. Very important, that collaboration, because Bill's lab is the only lab in the world that could test for telomerase induction with human skin cells. So John started sending them over. There's a documentary out there called The Immortalist, and Bill talks about this, John sending the formulations over. And in that, a segment of that documentary, he says, he sent us 15. And out of 15, he got one of them that worked in the human skin cells. Now, we have to admit, we thought he was extremely lucky because we've tested hundreds of thousands with no hits, and he sends us 15 and gets a hit. So we're thinking, what a lucky guy, right? But he sends us 15 more and gets another hit. Out of 120, he gets these 7 hits right here. Each red line is a different natural compound from botanicals that is producing telomerase in the human skin cells in vitro, being tested by Bill Andrews. Completely vetted. So when we talk about science behind this, that picture right there is nothing but a representation of pure science. You're seeing the actual result of Bill's testing in his lab. I mean, this is math right here, right? This is science. That's producing a result with natural ingredients. They were shocked. They were amazed, they were excited, and they called John Anderson a genius, said this is going to change the landscape of human health. We've never been more excited. And this product has just continued to evolve and evolve. I remember getting a call from Bill, and he said, "Dave, you have no idea what's about to happen. John Anderson just did something that I said would be impossible to do from a natural botanical, found 2 hits that went off the charts." He said, "You have no idea what's about to happen." That moved our lab forward 15 to 20 years of where we thought we would be at this point. We're way past that now, you guys. There's over 25 different hits in what we're taking, and it's called 4th generation isogenesis. And I love this product. That's a month's supply for one person. I mean, imagine getting such an amazing nutritional support in 4 pills a day, 2 in the morning, 2 at night. This is my month's supply right here. And I take 2 in the morning, 2 at night. It's that simple. I've been on it for over 7 years now, and I feel younger. I look younger, and I am younger. My cells are running more optimally than they were 7 years ago before I got on this product. I'm doing things that I've never done before when it comes to energy and recovery and endurance. And we're watching this happen again and again and again. Because it's like what you said, Lenny, earlier. Bill Andrews said there is no way you could put this in your body and it not work. Now, he did say your body's intelligent and you've got a lot of cells. And so it's going to fix the shortest telomeres first, and you don't know which ones those are. That could be something that's completely hidden from your 5 senses. But the longer you're on it, the more it's going to be assimilated into the body, and the body, anything that's living, wants to thrive. It just depends on what we're putting into it. A lot of people are putting things into their body that's causing it to die, right? We are now going backwards with the lifespan. It's the first generation of children that won't live as long as their parents because they're putting the wrong things in their body and they don't even know. They don't even understand this science. And that's why I really love this, because we're pioneering something that is making such a huge dramatic impact with something as simple as this. So let's keep this simple, you guys. Anything you guys want to add before I jump into some observationals here?
I just want to add, I'm 5 years in, and I started at 38 with wanting to crush my 40s. And, if you want to look and feel better with every decade, at 38, I didn't own a pair of shorts. Everyone sees me now. I did not own a pair of shorts. I would never wear like just a gym, sports bra. And now I have a 6-pack in my 40s. I didn't change much. I did not change much. I added this, and I was already doing the shake that we're about to describe, but I'm 43 now. I always tell people I feel better than 33, maybe even 23.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Lenny, you're out mountain biking, and an Angel sitting in the background. I can't wait to get to her story, but you're out mountain biking and doing stuff that you've never done before.
It's amazing, Dave and Laura. I'm so grateful every day that I wake up and I put those vegan gel caps in my body. I drink my shake, which we're going to get to, but I feel amazing. And I'm 55 years young, and I'm out there racing my mountain bike with 25-year-olds, and they're like, what is happening right now? So just keep watching, guys, because this gets exciting.
Yeah, I love it. Bill and his wife, this is some of the first results that, we started seeing was with endurance for athletes. And Bill and Molly, they're ultra marathon runners. And Molly ran a race 2 years earlier before this product was out, and she didn't get to the finish line. It's called the Ultra the High, and it's in the Himalayas. And it's only 138 miles long, and you run it all at one time without sleeping. So you're running through the night, no naps. And the reason why is because they only give you 60 hours to get to the finish line. Oh, and did I forget to mention that it goes from 13,000 feet to 18, back to 14, back to 18, and then back down? And it's 138 miles long, and you only get 60 hours. So no, she didn't make it the first time she tried. Well, then she puts this product in her body, which used to be called Product B. Now we call it Isa-G, Isogenesis. And she got on the product. She runs the race 2 years later, 2 years older, and she crushed it. She's the 7th person at that time to do it, and the first female. You guys, Bill Andrews did it the following year at 60 years old because of isogenesis. He said, I'm breaking records I set back when I was 40. One of them I beat by 50 minutes, and this time it was raining and muddy, and it wasn't raining and muddy when I ran it when I was 40. And I beat that record by 50 minutes. And so and this is what I noticed as well. And I picked up motocross at 46 years old, and I'd been on it for, a little over 2 years at that point. And I thought, why not motocross? I'm feeling young. It just came back onto the radar. I hadn't ridden a dirt bike in 25 years. And I started out performing teenagers. Lenny was out there when I was first learning, and he was riding around with me. And, I got better and better. I went 2, 3, 4 days in a row. I did not even get sore. I didn't get tired. I was out there on the track longer than the teenagers. And of course, when I started racing, I started beating them. And then before one of the races, it was a practice day, I shattered my leg. And I cased it on a triple is what it's called. And it shattered this leg. Like, it didn't break, it shattered it because of the momentum that came up through my leg. And the doctor that was there couldn't fix it. He said, no, there's a specialist that does that. I fixed your other leg, but this one, I'm not touching that. There's a bunch of little pieces like glass in there. And this doctor, he travels around the country doing that. So I put this external fixator on you, and we're going to have to wait till he gets back in town. So that was on for about 10 days. I was in bed for 6 weeks, you guys, without standing up. And I went in for only 2 checkups. And I tried to tell the doctor about this product and how people were, their bodies were healing much faster. And so I just tried to tell him about it, and he wasn't interested. But I took it, and I had a conversation with him on the second visit. And I was talking about being on the dirt bike again and running. He said, "You'll never run again. And it'll take up to a year before you could stand on that leg because all those little pieces, it'll take that long." You guys, I was running stadiums in 3 months. 3 months. I had only been on my feet for 2 weeks right there. I was off of my feet for 10 weeks. And look, I didn't even have any muscle atrophy. Why? Because my DNA expression didn't change. Why? Because I was supporting them with an asset. And my body healed so fast, it was unprecedented. In fact, a PA, Malcolm, who's on here, had a PA come to a presentation in Reno, and she said, "That's impossible with a pilon fracture. Those little fissures can't heal that quickly to take that kind of pounding. And look, you don't have any muscle atrophy." And I'm like, "Oh, you're right. I didn't even notice that. That's another part of my story. No muscle atrophy, being off of my feet for 10 weeks. So a lot of people's lives have been blessed because I shared this video. So you can watch that video on YouTube. It's there for you to share with people who have had trauma. We've even seen trauma resolve from, decades earlier. The body is a miracle, and it's alive, and it can thrive. We just need to support it and give it its intelligence back, and it will do the job. This is Kathy here. I love sharing her before and after pictures, and just people don't believe that's her. In fact, Emily's friends were like, "No way, that's not her." And Kathy comes into the conversation and says, "Hello, these pictures are in fact of me. That's at Fitness America in Las Vegas at 69. I just turned 70 in May." So she's 69 years old right here. And then she posted these pictures here. Here she is at 70. And she said, "I really do feel like I've been aging backwards. And what else could I possibly give the credit to? Thank you, John Anderson and Bill Andrews." Yes, thank you, John Anderson and Bill Andrews. Very humble geniuses. Very humble geniuses, you guys. And their contribution to humanity is going to, I believe we're going to get the Nobel Prize. Eventually, we're going to be recognized because so many people are enjoying the benefits. It's just going to be recognized at that point. But right now, we've got a long ways to go because there's hardly anybody that knows about it. This right here, I did a meeting at a dentist office because of what he was seeing. He's the one that got me to lecture at the dentist symposium in Denver. And out in Wisconsin, he has his office, and I did a lecture out there because of what he saw happening to his patients' teeth and gums that was on the products. He said, in 30 years, I'd never seen that. So I did the presentation. Amy comes, and she gets her father-in-law on it, Dick here, and he's like, they're thinking, who's going to take care of Dick? He's not going to be able to take care of himself for much longer. And so she got him on the products. He's 82 here, he's 83 here, he's 85 here, and he's 87 right here. And he is a character. I just got a picture sent to me of him going down the slide at the playground. I mean, this guy, he came to our team party in August. He's doing push-ups on the ground in our team party. He lives on his own. He's driving. He totally takes care of himself. He's a very witty guy. And right here, not so witty, right? He was checking out on his family. But here he is back at 87. He's 88 now, and he's doing amazing, you guys. Incredible story. Lenny, you got to meet Dick.
Yeah, we were doing push-ups. He was like rocking it. He blows my mind. Imagine just for a second, not having a license, being in a home, and coming out of that and getting your license back and getting your life back. Talk about coming alive.
Yeah, I had a 92-year-old come up to me in Bend, Oregon, and she said, "Hey, can I share my story with you before you get started?" I said, "Sure." She said, "Well, I was in an assisted living center. I couldn't even take care of myself. I got out of there 2 months ago, and I got my driver's license back 2 weeks ago." I mean, you guys, I still hear, like, that's not an uncommon story, right? And we're not talking about curing anything. We're just supporting the body. And we know that good nutrition always improves somebody's health. Well, now we're talking about nutrition on a whole new level, right? It's a breakthrough in a whole new era, like Dr. Gabriel Cousens said. And so I hear these, and I still get these results. Here we are 7 years into this, and they're just pouring in. I'm not surprised anymore, but it's kind of like, it's still a surprise every time I hear the stories. But I understand the science behind it, so I'm not surprised when I hear the stories, but I am super jazzed, and I celebrate with the person, and I get excited with them because of the results that they're experiencing for them and their loved ones. There's just not too many other joys that you can experience in life when you can be the catalyst for helping to have somebody restore their health like that. like Minnie here, who was checking out, couldn't have a conversation with her. She couldn't stand up straight. I mean, look at her. She's laying flat right here. This is 5 months later. And here she is at 80. Here she is at 83. And you can see her chin used to be stuck to her chest because of her back. And now it's not anymore. She started walking straight up and down. I've stayed at their farm in Winthrop, Minnesota. I got to watch that happen. So again, we're talking about the miracle of the human body. I'm going to go past a couple of these real quick. All right, Chantel, she had some issues with her back where there was this burning issue that she had where she couldn't sleep at night anymore. And she bought a new mattress and she had tried to prop herself up with pillows and just wouldn't work anymore. She could not get comfortable long enough to fall asleep. So she was struggling. She was in survival mode like I was, but in a different way. And she got on the product through Amanda, and both me and Amanda got a text on a Saturday morning, said, I'm crying in bed right now for 2 hours. I just slept the whole night. I didn't have any challenges, and I'm still not having any challenge. She thought it was a fluke because it happened so quickly. And this is a post about a month and a half later. Well, shortly after that, she posted about her daughter who's had a skin issue with her hair. Couldn't comb her hair, especially in the wintertime. It was too painful, too raw, it would bleed, and just a terrible situation for a little girl to have to go through. No issues this year. You know, Chantel decided she's going to get her daughter and help support her telomeres nutritionally, and no issues. Well, we just got another some more information about her daughter, Rylin. She's in 6th grade, and they do a 6th grade competition with planking. And planking is where you hold yourself in a push-up position for as long as you can. And the record in 6th grade was 2 minutes. Rylin crushed it. It was 7 minutes and 5 seconds. And she attributes it to the Forever Pack. So how cool is that? I mean, that is awesome. I don't know that anybody will ever crush that record unless maybe they get on the Forever Pack as well. Might be their secret weapon. And then we have this here. And Angel, you know, you got on the Forever Pack. You started taking the isogenesis, supporting your telomeres, and doing a shake a day. And here you are. You did your first competition, and you got first place. I mean, come on. Tell us about it.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. I decided last year, over a year ago, to go 100% plant-based. I've been a competitor before and ate a lot of meat, and just decided I wanted to, you know, show people I could do it on plants. But, you know, with Isogenics, I was on the products at that time, and I did our plant-based shakes. So I did 1 shake a day in the morning, and then I took my Isogenesis 2 in the morning, 2 at night, and then the rest of the time, of course, ate plant-based food, and of course went to the gym. But it was amazing just having the 1 shake a day and knowing that athletes need this nutrition just as much as anyone else. And the Forever Pack's the way to go with athletes too, because it's setting them up for a foundation and getting the purest form of protein as well. So.
And you got first place.
And first place.
And you got first place. Oh, and by the way, I got first place.
Against 20-year-olds, by the way.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it. And Laura, you know, you guys have been seeing results from people. Is there anything that you want to add to some of these results that we're seeing and just the excitement that we have around?
I mean, I am just excited. I just shared in the chat that one of the best tips you gave me when we first really intentionally started sharing isogenesis with the shakes is track the results coming in, document what people are saying with just the 2 products that we're sharing tonight. And I almost didn't believe it at first until I saw it for myself, because the results have been astonishing you know, it'll go to wherever the telomeres are the shortest first. So just have patience, because you can't see that magic. But I mean, it's been amazing, from chronic conditions that people have had for years, car accidents, just quality of life issues that were impacting people, friends that had been following us, that I was just like, listen, be a guinea pig, put this to the test. Like, let me know what happens. Let's stay in touch. And within weeks, within sometimes 2 weeks, sometimes day 1, feeling the difference. So I really just suggest to everybody, have patience, share this. If, as you're watching this, think of people in your life that this can impact, because why not try it?
Yeah, I hope you guys are getting the message loud and clear here. It is quality of life. That's what we're talking about. And there's so many people who have lost that quality of life, and their life is ruled by that. When you have these challenges, it's a daily struggle just to cope with that. And everything in your world revolves around that challenge. And there are more and more people that are having those challenges because of what our bodies are exposed to. And people are like, they're dying, but they go on living for another 15 or 20 years. And they don't need to be. They don't have to be, especially when we have something that's so simple as this, but so profound. It's an incredible message that we have, and I love sharing this message. I never get tired of sharing it, ever. I've done over 2,000 of these presentations, and I never get tired of it. Just a couple other things here. My daughter, I put her on it. She's a dancer, and in 3 days, everybody was asking her what she's on. And here's my son. He's been on those shakes since he was 2 years old. There's the isogenesis. He's taken it before school. We have passed on a tradition now from generation to generation, and now it's going to second generation because we're grandparents, and our grandkids are using these products. And so here we were struggling before isogenics. Now we're not struggling. Our kids aren't struggling. They're thriving. Carter's school teacher in elementary school, when we put him on isogenesis, 3 days later, she called and asked what we put him on because she noticed the difference in his behavior. And this kid right here, Benny, Lenny, this is in your group in Bruce's in Fresno. Benny was hit by a car, and he lost his motor skills. He couldn't speak, and he couldn't move his arm. His arm was stuck in a 90-degree angle for over 4 years, you guys. Look at Benny after 3 weeks.
And then check the strike. Holy moly. Yeah. Wow, Benny. Look at how relaxed his arm is. Watch.
Benny can now speak in sentences and play the piano. I mean, come on. You guys, this message is so valuable for people. Lenny, anything else you want to add before I move on to the next slide?
No, I'm ready to go.
Okay. So that's the science, you guys. What do you want? Long telomeres or short telomeres? That's the question. If you answered long telomeres, then we did our job, right? Short telomeres, no. Long telomeres, yes. And now you know the science of aging and what's happening to everybody and what's been accelerated and what all of their challenges are related to when it comes to their health. Now we have an asset. And an asset is something that's very powerfully supporting the human anatomy in a way that it never has before. It's absolutely supporting it. And we've got somebody marking up our screen because they're so excited. I don't know how to control these things. There's probably a way for me to turn that off, but I always forget. So you guys, I really want you to think about this and think about the names. Write down the names of people who are coming to you right now. That's not on accident. There's a reason why, because you're now the connection of a piece of information that could dramatically change their lives and help them to start thriving. And all you have to do is send them to foreverpack.com. So we'll talk a little bit about we'll talk about that at the end on where you can send people to watch a video on this and the breakdown of it and have 24/7 access to it. But we want to cover just two more things here. We want to cover real quickly, briefly, the shake that we've been talking about. And we know that you are what you eat, and you've got to have 90 different nutrients going in your body every single day. So thank you again, John Anderson, for coming to the rescue, because the nutrients are no longer in our food. They're not in our produce, not even in our organic produce, you guys. A lot of people don't know because they're not investigating, they're not reading the studies, but organic doesn't show to have any more minerals in it than the non-organic. And one bowl of spinach used to give you enough iron, according to UCLA, for a week in 1953. So if you ate a bowl of spinach every week, you were good. Well, now you need to eat 51 bowls of spinach every week. And it's not just spinach and it's not just iron. It's across the board. There are so many studies that just show this. And those that are in this industry, we know this. And this is the decline of minerals in our soil. This is the rise of disease as a result. And our environment, Lenny, I mean, we made this slide way back, like in around 2006. You want to share a little bit on that?
Yeah, I mean, come on, look at our air. It's polluted. Our water's polluted. Our food is polluted. They're spraying pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, fungicide. And what does side mean in Latin? Death. They're spraying death on our food, and it's killing the minerals. And so we are living in a mineral deficient world. And that's why everybody's always hungry. You ever been hangry or hungry, it's because you're eating, but you're not getting the minerals that your body's just craving. Dave, this is very vital. And you skipped over the Food Matters, but everybody, we encourage you to do your own due diligence. Go to Netflix, watch that documentary. But I mean, it's kind of scary, but unless you're watching this presentation, that is a big deal that we get this, that we need to figure out a way to get the minerals back in our bodies. And that's why John Anderson is nicknamed by his peers the Mineral Man. That's one of the other things he did besides just besides isogenesis, the greatest one of all of his products, the shake, you guys. He figured out how to put the 70 trace minerals into the shake. So when you drink it, you have a chance on getting these minerals back in your body. It's a big deal. Remember Dr. Linus Pauling said that every sickness and disease can be traced back to a mineral deficiency in the human body. Well, we better figure out a way to get the minerals back in, Dave.
Yeah. And Laura, you've been on this crusade. I call it a crusade that we're on. We really feel like we have a movement here because this is what most people are eating, this stuff here. So not only is there not minerals in our produce, but most people are eating processed food. What are some of the things that you picked up over the years that you've been educating people on as far as the things that they shouldn't be putting in their body that they are?
Sure. I mean, I have a gym that I've owned in Denver, and I worked hands-on with a nutritionist for years at our gym who really looked to use food in a medicinal way, right, versus the opposite. But I think, as we approach this, what was super huge for me as a turning point was I could always struggle against and try and convince and shake the people of what they were doing and putting in their body. Or I could just look this way and see all the people that are really praying and desiring change and looking for a solution. So, really focusing your energy. There are millions of people on this planet. Are you putting your energy towards the people who really don't want to change, and they want to drink the soda and the other things that may be harming them? Or are you really focusing your energy on the people who are looking for change? There are plenty of people out there seeking and desiring change. I just say, teach them about what we're doing here, because that's what will create the ripple effect in a much more powerful way.
Yeah, if you fell into that category before Isogenics found you, raise your hand, because that's the category I was in. I was looking for solutions. I was dying to find a solution because nothing was working. And when I found it, when I was introduced to it, it changed my life miraculously. And, again, it all comes down to science. When we look at the pH scale, healthy people are healthy for a reason. They have healthy habits. They're putting the right things into their body, where unhealthy people have unhealthy habits. And it could be a matter of education. It could be about providing the right vehicle and the right things for them to be putting in your body. I have not found anything as easy as putting in this shake every single day. John Anderson, like you said, Lenny, is known as the Mineral Man by his colleagues. Over 60 of those nutrients that your body needs 90 nutrients at every meal, and they need to be assimilated. There needs to be the enzymes and the enzymatic processes going on with those nutrients that we're putting in our body. A lot of times when we're taking supplements, they don't have those enzymatic processes. So they're going in the body, but they're coming right back out. And that's why we don't feel different. And a lot of them are in a synthetic form rather than a pure raw form. And John Anderson's known for keeping things in their raw state, but also he'll go down in history for the enzymatic processes that are designed into his nutritional supplements. So it's like eating raw food. It really is eating raw food. It's just so nutritionally packed and dense that it's more than you could ever put on a plate. And so that shake is my answer. That's the solution. And I've been taking those shakes, 2 of those a day, for over 13 years now. And I did a shake this evening before I started this presentation. And I crave that shake like I used to crave this other stuff. I'm not going to lie. I used to crave ice cream. I used to crave the soda and the coffee and the sugary foods. I don't crave them anymore because acidic bodies crave those. And the reason we're not alkaline is because we're not getting the minerals. Well, when I put this shake into my body went from acidic to alkaline, and I lost the cravings. And I now crave the shake like I used to crave those other acidic foods. And now I'm healthy. I have a healthy habit. And everybody knows that they should be taking some kind of nutritional supplement. usually in the form of a shake. They buy the, they'll buy the pre-made shakes, or they'll buy the juicer and they'll use it for about a week, and then it goes under the sink because you didn't really feel different and it was a lot of work to use the juicer. I mean, if you bought a juicer and it's under the cupboard and you haven't used it in years, raise your hand, because I fall into that category as well. I didn't feel better when I did it. Well, now I know I didn't feel better because the minerals weren't in those foods that I was blending together. And then there's people who will go to Jamba Juice and these other places where they're making smoothies. And to be honest, they didn't really make me feel better either, but I knew I needed them and I was going to do the best that I knew how to do. Here's the difference. I put that shake in my body and it changed my life. And we say it wakes people up, and then it gives them the isoglow. And it changes a person's life. And this is what I talk about, those steps that were going up. Where I was at the bottom of the step, this took me to the top of the step. What you are, what you eat. And since I put that in my body and it's my nutritional support every day, I feel amazing because it's unparalleled nutrition. Can I get an amen?
Amen. I just want to emphasize the importance of adding the shake to this combo, because so many people see the science of the isogenesis and they are like gung-ho with it. And when this is the 1-2 punch, is repairing your cells, but then fortifying your cells with incredible nutrients that are bringing life force and energy right to your cells. So that 1-2 punch is the combination.
Yeah. And I started out doing one shake a day, and then I heard Susan Sly, who's a nutritionalist and an athlete, and she said, Dave, teach people to do 2 shakes a day, because our shakes are so nutritionally dense. If they do it, they'll thank you for the rest of their lives, right? And so I'm like, oh, that's a new concept. I'll do 2 a day. I've done 2 a day for almost 13 years now. I mean, it did change my life, but we recommend minimum 1 shake a day. That's how we start out. We want to create a habit for people. This right here, along with the isogenesis, is the single greatest thing you could do, and I would say the simplest and the greatest tasting, to create a healthy habit that will last you for the rest of your life, and you can pass it on to your kids and their kids, and they can pass it on to their kids. I mean, there's no limit to this, you guys. Lenny, I see you holding a candlestick.
I just want to have a moment real quick with everybody, and I have a love affair happening with the shake. I love it so much, you guys. It's the most nutrient-dense, mineral-rich, undenatured whey protein with branched chain amino acids, enzyme active. I mean, this thing, it makes me happy. Dr. John Gray calls these happy shakes because it has the ability to really make a difference in anyone's life within days. I'm talking this 1-2 punch right here, 1-2 punch. This is the punch right here that will alkalize your body. We alkalize to maximize. And when we alkalize the body, it becomes healthy, and a healthy body craves healthy food. This creates the health habit quicker than anything we've ever seen. So we challenge any new person to give this a test and see if they don't gain a testimony that they start craving foods differently, that they start having different moods, that they start having more energy, that they start seeing things differently. I'm telling you, you want to come alive? Join us.
Here, and I'll give you some social proof. We just got back from Cancun, 7-day, all-inclusive resort. And me and my wife, Carrie, we did a shake every morning for breakfast, you guys. I mean, if that isn't social proof, I'm not going to say we didn't enjoy ourselves. We enjoyed ourselves, but our bodies, they want that shake. And so we know to take it with us when we go on vacation. And that was at an all-inclusive. I mean, everything was paid for already, and we still did a shake every day. All right. And there's my alkalinity at about 11 o'clock in the morning, high 7s. That's where you want to be, right in this 7 area. Okay, so Lenny, we did this back in, I think, like 2007. And real quickly here, how much nutrition is in this, the number 1 meal in the United States, a burger, fries, and a Coke. What did we decide?
Well, we decided it was minimum, but now we know it's negative. I mean, come on, the only healthy part of that whole meal is the ice in the Diet Coke. That is it, man. And if you look at the shake, I mean, come on, how much nutrition is packed into it? It's nutrient-packed, maximum density. Calories, look at the fast food meal, guys. It's almost 2,000 calories compared to a shake. Come on, 240, and the cost is probably more than we did this years ago. It's probably more above $10. But what about our cost? Come on. This is the most brilliant financial decision you could make each day. Change your breakfast, change your life. Change your lunch, change your life. Change your dinner, change your life. You're going to change your life no matter what meal you pick. You're going to save money. You're going to get healthy. Laura, are you serious about this right now?
I mean, I believe in the small and mighty. Pack the punch, right? Do less better.
Yeah. The average person saves about $100 if they replace a meal a day. Not just because it's cheaper per meal, but because you lose those cravings for things that run up the bill throughout the month that you're snacking on between meals because your body didn't get what it needed. Now, let's take what John Anderson says is the greatest discovery of our time. John Anderson's formulator, right? Formulated for over 600 companies. He says this is the greatest discovery of our time. And what more than 40 years, MD, Dr. Gabriel Cousins, raw food advocate, said is a breakthrough into a whole new era. Let's add that to the cost of our shake per day. What does it come out to? It's still under $5.50, which is still cheaper than this meal back in 2007. You guys, the Forever Pack, man, forever everybody we know should be on this. This should be a household name. Like, we should be able to wake up and to our next door neighbor say, hey, what flavor did you do this morning? And they know exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, mine was the salted caramel. Oh, yeah, I did cookies and cream this morning. As you're driving down the street, you see the car at the stoplight. What flavor did you do this morning? Yeah, I did the peach mango. Oh, yeah, I did that one yesterday. High five, rock on. Right? That's what this is going to be. There's no reason why it shouldn't be. It's the solution. It's what, don't ask the world what, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Is that like such a novel idea to think that our nutrition would help us to feel like we've come alive? You guys, in this country, we've made a science out of our nutrition to where it's killing us and it's suppressing the livelihood. And people are becoming very complacent. And it's because of the nutrition. It's the lack of it. You know, they now have a study that's showing there's a certain percentage of kids that are malnourished. And it's not because they're in poverty. They're just malnourished. They're eating the flaming hot Cheetos for lunch. And they're washing it down with Mountain Dew. And the minerals aren't in the foods that they should be in. So come on, we've got a great, incredible message. So we want to wrap this up with one last thing, and that's the opportunity of sharing this message with other people. That's how Isagenix has chosen to do this, to bless our lives, not just physically, not just with our health, but financially, to create the largest health and wellness company in the world that creates the biggest impact in people's health. And they said, we need you to help us do it. We know that that's the most effective way to grow this company. And we've got the products to do it. And we'll pay you for doing it. And so what the company has set up took me from where I was struggling, working 16 to 18 hours a day. I wanted more for my family. We were grateful, but I wasn't satisfied. And I was doing a paper route every morning. I was fixing cars at night. Literally, I was working 3 jobs trying to get by. And I couldn't even replace the broken window on the front of our house. It was broken for years. And so what happened is I got into Isagenix. It's $29. Everybody gets the products at the same price. Everybody starts out as a customer. And if you just want to use the products and let that help you come alive and go do your thing, you can totally do that. You don't have to share with anybody. Everybody starts out as a customer. But what I love about that is everybody gets the product at the same price. That's integrity, and that's a statement saying that we know these products work, and we're just going to let you buy whatever you want, get started however you want to get started, and it's the same price for everybody. Now, if you do want to share, there's a minimal order that they ask of us to do every month. And when I discovered what that was and how they were going to pay me, I said, game on. I could change the world with this. And so it's been over 13 years now, and me and my wife have been paid $10 million in this company. Yep, that's right. We were struggling mechanic. Now we're multimillionaires. What? From helping people to come alive. That's it. So I went from changing people's oil to changing their lives. I like changing lives much more. So they say you need to order 100 BV every 30 days. It stands for business volume. Here's our Forever Pack, a shake every morning for breakfast. So you would use 2 canisters. That's a month supply. You would replace breakfast of champions. and your isogenesis. That's a 1 month supply. It's 108 BV. If you're ordering that, the company says, look, you're qualified. You don't have to sell anything. Just share our message. You guys, just ask somebody, do you know what a telomere is? Oh my gosh, wait till you find out, right? So just share with them what you're learning here. We're not selling products, we're sharing health. And so as soon as you share it with 2 people who will use 100 BV, the company pays you on everybody that comes into your organization. So here's what I learned from our #1 all-time income earner, Jimmy Smith, the 91-year-old that I showed you at the beginning of the video, or the presentation here. He said, have a dream, Dave, and then go build a team. And then find out what each person's dream is on your team and help them accomplish that dream. By you helping them accomplish their dream, you'll accomplish your dream. And that's exactly what I've done. I am so grateful for the mentoring that I got from you, Lenny, from Jimmy Smith, and from this culture, from this company. And I went out and built a team. And that team, we passed it on. So now not only are we passing on health to people in an unprecedented way, we're passing on freedom. So let's take Cindy Talley. She's been a home health nurse for 28 years. In 1 year, she shared it with 25 people who said yes. 25 people said yes. In less than 2 years, she retired as a home health nurse. She had been involved in this industry and in the nutrition for over 14 years in nutrition, and in the industry over 20 years. And Isagenix is the vehicle, the product, and the compensation plan that freed her in less than 2 years. The way it works is they pay you 6% on everybody. You get paid 6% on unlimited depth. So let's just go, as soon as you sponsor 2 people. So let me go back to this. Once you've sponsored 2 people who will use the products every month, they don't have to sell, just use the products. They order a Forever Pack every month, you're qualified to get paid. And it's an unlimited amount that you can get paid, you guys. So let's just say, we'll go at the power of 2 because that's the bare minimum. You need to share it with at least 2 people. I shared it with my wife and my brother-in-law. But if you added some more people, let's say 2, 3, 4 people, instead of sharing it with 2, you share it with 3. Instead of sharing it with 3, you share it with 4. And we're just going to go 4 generations. These 2 shared it with 2. Those 4 shared it with 2. These 8 shared it with 2. So you'd have 30 people plus you. That's 31 people. Isagenix pays you 6%, even on your own BV. So what would the 6% be on 31 people every month? Now this is a residual passive income because they're going to pay you on every reorder that these 30 people do. You'd be just over $200 a month for buying your groceries that changed your life and supported your telomeres from Isagenix. I've been buying my groceries from Harmon's grocery store here in St. George, Utah for over 20 years. I've sent people to Harmon's grocery store. Lenny, I've sent you to Harmon's to go eat at their deli. They have an amazing deli. Very clean food there. They've never paid me. They still don't pay me for shopping there. In 20 years, they've never paid me for shopping there. That's rude, right? It sounds kind of absurd, but it really is rude when you compare them to Isagenix. Isagenix has paid me over $10 million for shopping from them. And I've referred people to Isagenix just like I've referred people to Harmon's. But who do you think I would rather refer people to? Harmon's or Isagenix? Isagenix is way more, what would you say, generous? And it's changing their lives more. I don't know, it might have, your taste buds might have enjoyed the deli, but Isagenix is changing lives, you guys. So let's go on the power of 3. This one changed my life because that's how much I made. That's more than I made on my paper route. I delivered newspapers every morning at 4:30 for about 4 years, every single morning, every day of the year. And I was making about $600 a month. This changed my life dramatically because I didn't even feel like I was working. I didn't have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to do this. And this one has just about retired me as a mechanic. My personal story and the effort that I put in, I replaced my income in 4.5 months. I was at $2,500 a month. Power of 4 right here, 4 generations. That's 6% at 108 BV. If we go one more, the power of 5, this is why I call it 100 BV to be set free, because you only have to order 100 BV. Remember, the Forever Pack's 108. So if we went 108 BV times 6% at the power of 5, yeah, a lot of people would be set free right there. We are making dreams come true for people. We are setting people free. physically and financially. And in the process, we are creating the largest, most impactful wellness company on the planet. And we're just getting started. We're not even in 1% of homes in the United States. Just walk down the street and ask anybody, hey, what do you know about telomeres? Now, what you can do is just send them to foreverpack.com. Once you had this little conversation around, hey, you know what a telomere is? And they say, what's that? Oh my gosh, wait till you see the science. We have a 22-minute video right here showing the science at foreverpack.com. And it's just going to ask them to get back with you. So what you'll want to do is get their phone number and make sure you call them back and say, hey, you ready to get started? Some people have been asking, where was the enrollment button? There was no enrollment button on that website. Well, yeah, you're going to give that information to me. I'm going to set up your account, and the products are going to ship directly to you. I'm going to help you through this journey. This is a movement. This is not a sell. This is not a product. We're going to become great friends in this. So it's time to share, you guys. It is totally time to share. And, Lenny, Laura, just in wrapping this up, it's changed my life. I know it's changed your guys' lives dramatically, both physically and financially. But we're now living in our dream home. I got to raise my kids. They all got to have their own room. We didn't just replace the window. We replaced the whole house. We replaced the whole neighborhood. And I'm in this little office right here, right now. This is our dream home. We drive the cars we want to drive. We go on the vacations we want to go on. And we're making an impact. Every dollar I've made represents an impact that has been made dramatically in somebody's life. And I want to make more money because I want to make more impact. The money, all of this is a result, you guys. But it's also a barometer on how well am I doing in making an impact in another person's life. Emily Vavra, her and Hayden, one of the youngest millionaires, making, $1 million a year in their 20s. And they just hit about $2 million a year. And they said, that's been on my vision board to do that because I know that every dollar that I make and the increase in that money that I make means that I'm impacting more people's lives. That's what it stands for. And I can really get behind a business like that. It's not a business where you're just over broke. That's what JOB stands for. Just over broke. This is an incredible quantum leap. This is a breakthrough into a whole new way of experiencing life, you guys. And we are just getting started. And we extend the invitation to you to join us. And let's make a difference in the world. I call it bringing heaven to earth. Let's create a massive ripple effect out there of creating heaven, a little slice of heaven in each person's life because of their health and their freedom. Laura and Lenny, you want to wrap us up here, and any last thoughts that you have?
I just want to thank you and Lenny for welcoming me and our entire team and one team philosophy here. This is about making an impact. So again, think about yourself, think about the people that you love, and keep it simple to 3 things. It is so simple. Looking and feeling better starts with these 2 products. And it is so affordable. For around $5 a day, you can quantum leap your health. And it is completely based on science, mind-blowing science. And having that be the 3rd piece always leads you to, now take a look at foreverpack.com. Believe me, if you watch this, take 15 to 20 minutes of your life, really, and see if this video speaks to you. Because if it does, you're going to love me for it. Your family's going to love me for it. Everyone's going to love me for it. So I really want you to watch it. And that's how I share it with people, because I've seen the results, not only in myself, my family members, friends, but I'm seeing the simplicity of this model, the multiplication factor of just having that ripple effect. And I always tell people, it's not just the people you know. It's so rewarding when you realize that that person signed up someone who then becomes a best friend of yours, who signs up someone in another country, and suddenly you're impacting a whole group of people in another country. So it's really amazing. So thank you. I appreciate both of you and everybody listening.
Thank you, Laura. And Lenny, I want to give you last thoughts here. But before you do that, I just want to let people know that are here. Make sure you get back with the person that got you here. And I'll finish up as soon as Lenny's done. I'm going to just go over this real briefly. But Lenny and I want to do a little training right after this. For those of you that want to stay on, we're going to go over something called Consultant Machine. And for you associates and those of you that are interested, it's the action-oriented things that we do in order to create that life of freedom that Isagenix has set up the opportunity for us to do. So for those of you that want to hang around, we'll stop the recording and then we'll start another recording and go into that. So before we do that, Lenny, your last thoughts?
I just want to thank you, Laura. Your contribution has been so amazing to our team. And Dave MacArthur, thank you so much, brother, for your vision and your passion for this nutrition and the science. And you know, Martin Luther King said, you don't have to see the whole staircase. You just have to see the first step. And take that first step in faith and watch what happens to you. You know, there's a money back guarantee. There's a 100% money back guarantee. I mean, even though it's so completely affordable with what we're asking you to take a look at here, it's still guaranteed. Like, if you don't think it worked, if you don't think it improved you, you can absolutely get your money back, guaranteed. But guys, this is innovation at its finest. Why? Because it's simple. It's affordable. It's so duplicatable. Everyone's going to want to know what you're doing, and it's so simple to share. Guys, there's a reason why between Dave MacArthur and I, we have 28 years combined experience in isogenics, and we have never been so excited as we are right now. Just remember, there are no accidents. Albert Einstein says that coincidences are God's way of staying anonymous. You're here for a reason. Get back to the person that got you here, and next Monday, we're doing it again. And the Monday after that, we're doing it again. And the Monday after that, we're doing it again. We're doing it every Monday in 2019. Why? Because we have come alive, and we want to help you come alive too. Brother, back to you.
All right. Thank you guys, Laura, Lenny. I just honor you guys. Thank you so much. And Laura, you're welcome to hang out, and we're going to go over this little training if you want to stick around, and anybody else as well. Before I do that, for those of you that are just were invited, you know, you can get started however you want. Here's the Forever Pack right here, the Isogenesis and a shake a day. It is a qualified order. You don't have to have a qualified order. You can get started any way you want. You can buy one bottle if you want. I really love the integrity of the company and their confidence in the results that you're going to get from any one product that you put into your body. Now, Isogenics has a lot of other products, but health is a habit, you guys. I really want to say that loud and clearly. It's not a purchase. It's not a, you know, some people, they go out and they get the big gym membership and they feel like they're making this big investment that's going to change and transform their health. But that is not a habit, and it's your habits that create your health. And so everybody knows that we should be taking some kind of nutritional shake every day. And a lot of people are already doing that, but they're not getting the results. That's where I was before Isogenics. And so we know that getting somebody started with a shake a day and putting isogenesis in their body is really asking the minimal amount to do that everybody knows they should be doing, especially with the science behind the telomere support, but our shake. But you add those two together and you do that for 30 days, you've created a habit, you guys, that you will carry on for the rest of your life. And again, you'll hand that on. It'll become generational. But as you create that habit, then you can start adding some of these other things because you know you're not going to get started on something to quit. You've already created the foundation to build on. And that's what I've done. And I don't want to ask anybody to do anything more than what I've done. And I found that it's just the best way to get people started as well. So as you get the membership, you have access to a lot more that Isogenics has to offer. But I just want to give this word of caution. Get started, I would say, with the Forever Pack, and then build into it after that first month. Create the habit. This is not a sprint. You don't get on a health program and then all of your issues go away by the end of the month. The longer you're on this, like Laura said, the healthier you're going to get. Right? So you can get started whatever way you want. With all of that being said, just get back with the person that got you here. All right? And I don't know if I'm going to stop the recording here, but was there any questions that you saw, Laura or Lenny, that we need?